Namaste. Today I'm going to read volume 3, book 4, KotiRudra Samhita, chapter 37, Devotion to Lord Shiva in the Shiva Puran. Hari Om Tat Sat. The sages said, O Sutta, O fortunate Sutta, you are endowed with knowledge, one of good rights. Please narrate the story of Shiva again in detail. The ancient kings, sages, and gods appropriated that excellent deity Shiva alone. Sutta said, O great sages, you have put the question properly. I shall narrate the charming story of Shiva. It is conducive to the attainment of worldly pleasures and salvation by those who listen to it. May it be heard. Brahma was asked by Narada this alone. Delighted in his mind, he replied to Narada, the excellent sage. Brahma said, O Narada, listen. I shall narrate the excellent story of Shiva with pleasure out of affection to you. It destroys great sins. Vishnu, accompanied by Lakshmi, performed the worship of Shiva. Thanks to the mercy of Lord Shiva, he attained all desires. I, the grandfather of the worlds, am a worshipper of Shiva. Thanks to his mercy that I create the worlds always. My sons, the great sages, always worship Shiva. May other sages also do so. O Narada, particularly, you are a worshipper of Shiva. The 7 sages, Vashishta, and others too, are the worshippers of Shiva. The great chaste lady, Arundhati, Lopamudra, and Ahilya, the wife of Gautama, do also worship Shiva. These sages, viz. Durvasa, Kausika, Sakti, Darichi, Gautama, Kanada, Jiva, Bhargava, Vesampayana, Parasara, and Vyasa are the worshippers of Shiva. Upamanyu is a great devotee of Shiva, the great soul. Yajnavalkya, Jaimini, and Garga are great followers of Shiva. Shukra, Saunaka, and others are the worshippers of Shiva. There are many other sages, excellent sages, who worship Shiva. Aditi, the mother of the gods, perform the worship of Shiva in earthen phallic idols every day. She is a lady engaged in Shiva's devotion. Indra and other guardians of the quarters, Vasus, Maharajajika gods, Sadhyas are the worshippers of Shiva. The subordinate gods, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, and others are worshippers of Shiva. Similarly, the Asuras of noble minds are the worshippers of Shiva. O sage, the Daitya, Hiranyakshipu, his sons and younger brother, as well as Virochana and Bali worship Shiva every day. Bana is a great follower of Shiva, so also the sons of Hiranyaksha, or day 1. Virsa, Parvan, and other Dhanavas are the worshippers of Shiva. Shesha, Vasuki, Taksaka, and many other great serpents are devotees of Shiva. Garuda and other birds too are so. O great sage, the 2 gods, the sun and the moon, who started 2 lines of kings on the earth, are devoted to the service of Shiva, always along with their descendants. O sage, the self-born Brahma and other Manus performed the worship of Shiva, and they were in the guise of Shiva too. Priyavrata, his son, Uttanabhara, and his son and successors were kings worshipping Shiva. Dhruva, Rishabha, Bharata, his brothers, the 9 yogins, and others too were worshippers of Shiva. Vaivasvata's son, Tarksya, Ikshvaku, and other kings were always devoted to the worship of Shiva and enjoyed happiness. Kakutsta, Mandata, Saghara, Mukukunda, Harishchandra, and Kalma Sangri were all excellent devotees of Shiva. Bhagirath and other kings, many excellent kings, are known as worshippers of Shiva, assuming the guise of Shiva. The great king Katvanga, who helped the gods worship the earthen idol of Shiva always. His son Dilipa was a perpetual worshipper of Shiva. Raghu, his son, was a great devotee of Shiva. He worshipped Shiva with pleasure. Aja, his son, who waged a virtuous war, was a worshipper of Shiva. Dasaratha, who was born of him, became a great king. At the behest of the sage Vashishta, Dasaratha particularly worshipped the earthen idol of Shiva for obtaining sons. As directed by Sringa, this excellent king, devoted to Shiva, performed the sacrifice called Putresti, urged by Sringa. Kausalya, the beloved queen of Dasaratha, joyously performed the worship of the earthen idol of Shiva for the acquisition of a son. O excellent sage, Sumitra and Kekahi, the beloved queens, performed the worship of Shiva with pleasure for the acquisition of good sons. O sage, they obtained auspicious sons of great valor and prowess who followed the path of the good. It was due to the favor of Shiva. Then at the behest of Shiva, Vishnu himself was born of the ladies in 4 different forms. Kausalya's son was Rama, Sumitra's Lakshmana, and Shatrughna, and Kekahi's Bharata. All of them performed Shiva's rites. Rama performed the worship of the earthen idol every day in the company of his brothers. He wore Bhasma and Rudraksha and followed the Shiva cult. O sage, the king born of his family worshipped the earthen idol of Shiva along with their followers. O sage, the great king Sudyumna, the son of a sage, became a woman along with his attendants as a result of Shiva's curse for the sake of his beloved. Thanks to the worship of the earthen image of Shiva, he became an excellent man again. By remaining a man for a month and a woman for a month, his womanhood disappeared. He then forsook his kingdom and engaged himself in the Shiva cult, assuming the guise of Shiva. By virtue of devotion, he attained salvation inaccessible to others. His son Pururavas, a great king, was a worshipper of Lord Shiva. His son Bharata performed the great worship of Shiva always. Nahusa, a great devotee, was interested in the worship of Shiva. Yayati realized his desires due to the Shiva's worship. He begot 5 sons, all interested in Shiva cult. Yadu and others, the 5 sons of Yayati, were the worshippers of Shiva. Thanks to the power of the worship of Shiva, they realized all their desires. Other fortunate persons of his race and of other races, O sage, worshipped Shiva and obtained worldly pleasures and salvation. Krishna himself performed the worship of Shiva on the excellent mountain Badhari for 7 months. After securing several divine boons from Shiva, who was delighted, Lord Krishna, brought the entire universe under his control. Udaya, his son Pradyumna, was a worshipper of Shiva always. Samba and other excellent descendants of Krishna were also great worshippers of Shiva. Jarasandha was a great devotee of Shiva. His successor were also so. Nimi and his son Janaka and his sons too were worshippers of Shiva. Worship of Shiva was performed by Nala, the son of Vedasena. In his previous birth, he was a forester who protected the travelers there. In the presence of Shiva, a sage who was Shiva himself was saved by him. He was himself devoured by tigers and other beasts at night. Thanks to the merit, the forester became Nala. He became a great emperor and the husband of Damayanti. O dear, thus I have narrated the divine story of Shiva as asked by you. What else do you wish to hear? Footnotes. 187. Lokapalas are the guardian deities who preside over the four intermediate quarters. 1 Indra east, 2 Agni southeast, 3 Yama south, 4 Surya southwest, 5 Varuna west, 6 Vayu northwest, 7 Kuvera north, 8 Soma northeast. 188. Vasus are a class of deities, 8 in number. They seem to have been personifications of natural phenomena. They are Appa, water, Dhruva, pole star, Soma, moon, Dhara, earth, Anil, wind, Anala, fire, Prabhasa, dawn, and Pratyusa, light. 189. Veera Jhagama is the cult of Shiva, free from passion and ignorance. And here ends today's reading of the Shiv Puran. Prabhu Prananatam Vyom Veshwanatam Jagannatanatam Samhita. Hari Om Tat Sat.